Let's do it.
All right, guys, here we go. BlackTop action. Got double, actually, make that triple commentators tonight. We got Ballers GM and Stingrays GM here alongside me. What's up, guys?
How's it going, everybody?
Stingrays GM will be very minimal on the talking, but she does have some big inside information she wants to give some people, so we'll get her in here. For the most part, it'll be the Ballers and myself talking about this sweet HoopStars versus Stingrays matchup for you guys. Let's keep it simple. Who do you got winning?
Oof. I'm going Stingrays this game. Yeah. I'm going Stingrays.
We got one Stingrays. Stingrays, what do you say?
I think you just said the answer. Of course I'm going for the Stingrays.
All right, we got two Stingrays. I mean, I guess I'll be the lone wolf. As much as I like the Stingrays, they didn't play very well the last time they were on BlackTop. Jamarius Randall nailed a couple of clutch threes. They did win the game, so I have to give them the credit, but the HoopStars played really well. KJ Collins with a three. You don't see that often, but I really would love to see that more often.
There it is, Randall with the board.
Yeah, Jamarius Randall. He was tearing it up, but the other two players, Dyson and Thomas, really struggle on the BlackTop so far. There's Jamarius Randall, open for three. Got it! Great shot by Jamarius Randall. Right now, I believe the HoopStars are 0-1 and the Stingrays are 1-0, if I have that correct.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Stingrays. It's hard to go against MVP Jamarius Randall. I know they got Michael Self on their team, but man, it is tough to go against Jamarius Randall.
Yeah, Jamarius Randall is just an absolute monster, and he has been absolutely carrying this team so far. Remember, the game is until 21. If it is win by 2, so if we have had a couple of games, there's Dylan Webb wide open for 3. No good. Yep. Thomas pulls it down.
Missed it.
Well, I'm glad to see we got all the news channels fixed for Ballers and Rattlesnakes. Your guys' news channel. I'm glad somebody brought that up finally after months of hard work lost. How do you feel knowing that your content will finally be seen?
Yeah, I'm excited that someone is actually going to see it. I was absolutely under the thought that at least everyone was viewing it. So
you were you were already one of the best. I mean, this might help you.
This is what we do for SBF. We just pump content. We don't look for praise. We just do it for you.
Yep. All right, let's get the Stingrays involved a little bit. So I hear, in between all of your player editing and those sweet graphics you were building, you started on some jerseys and stadiums. Can you tell us anything, or is it all a surprise?
I usually like it to be a surprise, but I've gotten about 3 teams done, so hopefully within the next couple of days I can have them all done, and then we can start maybe show it some screenshots so everyone can see what's happening.
Yep, a lot of the hardcore grinding goes on by the Stingrays GM, so we do thank you for everything you do. Let's get back to the game. As you guys saw a couple moments ago, Michael Self with an insane alley-oop. He, I think, has the most alley-oops per game, at least successful alley-oops. There are a couple players like Jamarius Randall who might attempt more, but I feel Self has at least 2 or 3 successful oops per game.
Yeah, and we don't really speak about this, but his athleticism is on another level, allowing him to just do the athletic abilities like those alley-oops.
Yeah, Michael Self is a big guy, but my goodness, don't underestimate his speed or athleticism.
Absolutely.
CJ Thomas goes up strong, and he's somebody that's been really struggling on the BlackTop. I don't want to say it's because on the BlackTop it's a different style of game, but I think I'd be wrong if I didn't. CJ Thomas is fundamentally sound. X's and O's type guy, nothing in between the lines. And here out in the BlackTop, the game's just a little bit different, and he's been struggling.
Yeah, it really highlights those players' abilities, and you know, he's just such a fantastic role player, but BlackTop is all about superpower. It is all about skill.
Yep. Bryce Dyson looking for another 3. can't get it. Webb pulls it down, kicks it out to KJ. Right back to Webb, lays it up, uses that speed to get right behind Randall. I believe the Ballers have a lead now. The HoopStars.
The HoopStars, yep.
Oh, man, it's going to take me a little bit to get used to that HoopStars. I love it. It's just going to take me a second. Wow, Jamarius Randall with the tip in.
Oh, putback from Jamarius Randall, MVP of the league. Do you think he's going to run it back 2 times?
I hope not. I'd like to see some love get spread around, but I hate voting against Jamarius Randall. But one thing people have to remember is the game is switching to 22 now, and styles and tendencies are just a little bit different. I'm really curious to see if any players don't transition well. That's what I'm worried about. We have some superstars in the league like Russ Hopkins that rely on 3 after 3, but in 2K22 so far, the man-to-man defense has been so tight that Russ might not get the same looks that he's used to. So I'm just really nervous we're going to see some superstars fade out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially with those large contracts. You know, you got Travis Price, you got Russ Hopkins on these massive contracts. If they way underperform, that can be detrimental to the Rattlesnakes.
Oh, yeah. And I think somebody like CJ Thomas, Jamarius Randall, Bryce Dyson, those 3, I think, transition very well into any league. Those guys are just all so well-rounded. I'm not too worried about the Stingrays.
Yeah.
Stingrays, very committed in that big 3. Do you have anything you want to say about the fact that you literally let everybody go except for your big 3? Like, are you worried about having to completely rebuild? I believe you've only grabbed 1 or 2 free agents as well. You've got a pretty empty team. And you're looking at starting Bean Shep at the shooting guard spot?
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of question marks there.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
First and foremost, don't doubt the Bean. He will make an angry podcast about you, and you don't want to hear what he'll have to say. Second of all, I think it goes to show volumes how much I truly trust my big 3.
I agree with that. You're considering putting Bean as your starting 5, and he gets a lot of crap. You must have some serious faith into your starting 3.
Yeah. Not so much Bean as much, but the big 3 I know I got.
If there's a starting 3 that could carry Bean, it might be the Stingrays, to be honest.
Well, here's another thing. You got some great picks looking at next year. I believe you cashed in 2 players. You're going to have some great picks in the first round. We're looking at these NCAA players right now. My God, they are stacked.
I mean, Maxey was a cash in for this season, so no additional firsts for the Stingrays. But teams like the Ballers, your team, the Chupacabras, I think the Ballers, Chupacabras, I don't know if there's any more. There weren't a lot of cash in. Tornadoes and maybe the Talons all have extra firsts next season, and that could pay off in a major way with all these great prospects coming into the league.
Absolutely. You know, I'm just looking at the comments right now. Carter's saying that Bean is very underrated. Why? I wonder why he's saying that.
So some people, I don't think Steve knows this. Steve's followed the league for a season now, but to the people who've been here a little bit longer, you see NCAA players that just, their stats don't look like they played too well in college, and then you put them onto the floor in the pro system and they look completely different. And I'm with Steve. I think Bean's style transitions well to the pro league, the ability to stop and shoot threes. Right now at Michigan, they force the ball into his hands over and over and over again, which leads to a really low shooting percentage. But when you have a player like Jamarius Randall and Bryce Dyson, who's going to demand the ball and not let Bean Shep take terrible shots, I think we're going to see him become a lot more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. I am very curious. I see Blazers enter the chat. I am very curious to see how Victor Lynn, number 1 overall pick, is going to transition from NCAA to pro.
Yeah. Victor Lynn, very interesting because he was extremely hot and cold all season. I mean, it really depends on which Victor Lynn you're going to get. Are you going to get the Victor Lynn that shoots threes, lights out, or are you going to get the Victor Lynn that forces up a lot of really bad shots and doesn't pass to his teammates? Yep. So if Blaze is lucky enough to get the former rather than the latter, he's going to have a beautiful team. What a great pass from Self to Collins. Great give and go.
I'll tell you who I'm excited to see how well they do in the SBF compared to the NCAA, and that's Vern Beard, with a team who will actually play and support him.
I love it. I do that so often. Same thing with Clint Westwood. Every time I'm talking about Clint Westwood, I say her because it's a female that created the player. I have a hard time just forgetting that. I mean, that's the beauty of sim leagues, is like these players are out here to represent us. So that just shows you how into it we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I agree. Vern Beard going over to the Jupe City Cosmos. You're talking about Vern having talent around him, but at the same time, he's going to be on an expansion team. So the Cosmos aren't going to be that strong year one. So Vern has an opportunity to lead a team by himself again.
Well, Vern has already shown that he can lead a team by himself. You look at the team that he was just on. I mean, he took them to the finals. That was a great pick by the Cosmos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a very good pick. If you're the Cosmos and you want one player to potentially carry your team, who else than Vern Beard, who literally carried Ohio to the NCAA championship? I mean, you can't ask for much better than that.
I see we still got some great team basketball right now.
Bryce Dyson, another open three. Got it.
Michael Self with the blown coverage. He doesn't do that much. He just gave up on his attacker.
They thought that they had time to switch there, but miscalculation by Michael Self leads to the wide open Dyson three. But I agree. I think some of these NCAA season 1 was good, but it's nothing compared to season 2 in my opinion. One player that not enough people are talking about going into the regular season, Steve Carter. How long can you fly under the radar? Steve Carter, all season long, nobody wanted to talk about this guy as a top player for Florida. It was all about Josh Allen all the time. Steve Carter dominates through the tourney. Steve Carter almost single-handedly wins them the championship and is now leading one of the best BlackTop teams. I mean, Carter has been absolutely dominant, and there's the game.
There it is. Randall with a three.
Yeah.
Great game.
Guys, thanks for checking out the YouTube video. Be sure to hit a like, drop a comment so I know you're here so I can get you your points.